Good morning guys, welcome to what I think is probably the first day of the British summer, mainly because it is 11.5 degrees, but it feels warmer than that to me. It feels a lot warmer than that because the sun is shining. Beth seems very miserable because we're going to a car meet, as you can tell. It's down in Sandbanks, which is sort of the rich posh end of the south of England, which is quite cool. Bit of a drive, and the car is in a stake, so I've been parking it under a load of trees at work, and it is covered in bird crap, so that needs to be addressed. So first things first, we need to get some money out, and then we need to head on down and have a look at what cars we have available at Sandbanks. Grab drinks and some money out to get a car wash because, to be quite frank, I bought one of those. You might actually, I don't think I recorded it at all, but I bought one of those like foam gun things, not one of those crappy Karcher pressure washers, and it was just absolutely useless. It was just absolutely useless. So we're going to go and get a car washed at like a machiney one. I know they're not good for the paintwork, but let's be honest, this is not a Rolls Royce or a Lamborghini with 3 layers of lovely paint. It is a Audi TT, so we're just
and a low spec one at that.
So yeah, anyway, we're going to be going down to South Banks. It should be pretty damn exciting. Get the car wash, and of course I've got a can of Monster to keep me going because I'm a bit of a caffeine addict. Second best thing to lager, really, or a good old Weiss beer. F40! What the actual is going on? I want to apologise for the wind noise in advance, but that was the best commute I think I've ever had to a car event in my life. Not only are we at Sandbanks Evening Hill, obviously the playground of the rich here in the south of England, but more to the point, there are some sick cars parked up along here, of course, including loads of C63s, an original Audi R8, that is the V8 I believe, oh no, V10, that's the V10, okay. Oh, honestly, the specs of some of this stuff. So the reason that was the best drive ever to a car event is because of the fact of the car that we followed down. Now, we followed it down from the M27, which is quite a while away, but the car we followed down was actually a Ferrari F40. Now, I absolutely bricked it while I was driving next to that thing on the motorway. But what an event that was. I can't get over the fact that we followed this thing down here, and of course didn't at all keep up with it, but the noise it made following this car was honestly just an event in and of itself. And just look at that F40, man, look at it. So while I was a little bit distracted by the F40, I thought I'd better actually show you some of the other cars that are here, because obviously while the F40 is the gem, there's so much more cool stuff here that I couldn't just show you the F40. So of course, McLaren 12C, love the colour on this. Not entirely sure what the paint code is, but it is lovely. Can you really complain with a car that looks that ridiculous? Love that car, and actually recently they've devalued a bit in price, so if you're actually thinking about buying one, you can pick one up in very good nick, full service history, and without too many miles on it for around 100,000 nowadays. So that's not actually that ridiculous in my opinion, and it's a lot of car for your money. And while I agree the front end on them doesn't look as new as all the McLaren 720Ss and stuff, I think the rear of them looks just as modern and has aged very, very well, considering that thing's probably around 8 years old now. Obviously R8 V10, I'm not sure if this one's a manual or not. It is V10 manual. That is sick, that is awesome. Props to that guy, and that blue is a ridiculous colour as well. Of course, we've got a lot of Mercedes C63s, BMW M4s and stuff like that. This S3 is pretty nice. I do think tyre writing's gotten quite big again. A lot of people are putting tyre writing on their stuff, and it does look pretty good. I'm a big fan. I like the tyre writing, and it looks really good on these Michelins on the GTR as well. And the width of that carbon fibre rear wing, pretty sick. is definitely lunchtime. We've arrived in Lyndhurst, so it was basically on the way home. Only like 20 minutes out the way, isn't that right, Beth?
Idiot.
A couple of Ducatis over there, pretty cool. Got totally smoked by a superbike on the way up here. When in Lyndhurst, you have to go to the Ferrari garage. Now, unfortunately, there's nothing exciting here like the Ferrari F40 we chased down the road this morning, but there are still some pretty cool cars. It's a Ferrari Dino in there, which is inside the showroom, but more to the point, they do have a V12 engine on display, but the cars that are exciting here at the moment aren't really around this back bit like they usually are. We have a 570S McLaren in there, which is different from usual, because usually they don't have any McLarens in there at all. But there's also a few old Maseratis in there as well, and I love the spoked alloys on some of those. But that McLaren's quite a nice spec. Can't go wrong with white, as I've already said with my TT. But that the spoked rims on that old Maserati are beautiful. But in addition to the old Maserati, they actually have the brand new Levante Maserati SUV. Now this is, I believe, Maserati's first SUV. This thing's pretty cool. I think it's got a dual turbocharged V6. Pretty nice car overall. You can't really go wrong with it. And I think it sounds really good from what I've seen on videos, but in person, quite imposing. But I feel, while the aesthetic is very Maserati and very classy and subdued, it isn't quite garish enough for me to like it. But the real gem over here is this new Ferrari. This is the new 812 Superfast. Obviously, front-engined V12. This thing is an absolute weapon. I think it has over 800 brake horsepower to the wheels, which is just absolutely ridiculous. And it's got such an aggressive aesthetic. You can see the hood vents on it, which look absolutely sick. And honestly, the length of the wheelbase on this thing, if you go from the back of it, you can really sort of see the length of the vehicle. It is just absolutely ridiculous. Of course, it is in Rosso Corsa Red, which is the colour you've got to spec a Ferrari in if you're going to buy a Ferrari. Quad exhaust tips, massive arse of it, you can't go wrong. But of course, that is way out of my price budget. Nothing like that I'm going to ever afford, but around the back, we'll also have to have a look to see what they got. Because a few weeks back, I went round here, and they actually had a LaFerrari under a cover. I don't believe it's going to be here today, but there are some more exciting cars. There is a 458 Speciale in their showroom, but quite a nice spec Rosso Corsa as well. Another Levante Maserati. There's a car that I'd actually might be able to afford that looks quite cool. A Alfa Romeo 4C. A lot of carbon fibre options ticked on that one, as you can see by the rear diffuser, as well as the headlights. Now, we have found something that's worth more than the F40, but it's under a cover. Of course, they don't really want people looking at it because of the fact that if they'd known it was just sat here, it might pose a bit of a, you know, security risk. But this is actually a LaFerrari under the cover here, so we can't even see what the specs are like because it's got a cover on it. But again, pretty cool. But I still think following the F40 was more of an occasion, especially considering the fact with the LaFerrari there are 500 of them, and I believe an additional 50 Apertas, where that one over there is obviously less rare than the F40. So the F40s are from 1987 production initially, I believe, and they've only had 400 models made, so it was still more of an occasion, and definitely felt much more retro and much cooler chasing that F40 this morning. But a LaFerrari is a pretty nice thing to see as well. And last but not least, I couldn't really leave this unmentioned. This is not just a GT4 Lusso, but this is a GT4 Lusso T. Slightly less aggressive aesthetic than you find on the F12 or on, again, the 812 Superfast that's over there, because that's the most ridiculous car I think I've ever seen. But yeah, not bad. Well, I think that's an appropriate place to end the vlog out after such a lovely day with lovely cars, lovely sun. Then we're going to go back to the pub. I'm going to sit there with a half pint for an hour and just soak the sun in while it's still there. Fantastic day overall, chasing an F40 and seeing all those other cool cars like the 812 Superfast as well. In the sun, close to home, you cannot go wrong. Anyway guys, without the old guys beeping at us because they think I'm famous, which I am obviously, We're going to hit the gym in a minute before they all close because it is the weekend. But in addition to that, if you think Beth should start up a fitness YouTube channel, jump in the comments below and let us know, because I think she should, and I think she's just being lazy, and that's why she didn't get any gains, because she hadn't got a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And anyway, I will see you very soon with more awesome content. Check out links to all my social media in the description below, because all the pictures I got today will be going up on my Instagram, and it is pretty damn litty. Isn't that right, Ben? Yes, see? Exactly. So I'll see you guys very soon with more awesome content. Stay tuned, and I'll catch you with the next one. Peace!